you remember what you told me? You'd never leave me lonely. Do you remember what you told me? I'll always be with me. Do you remember what you told me? You'd never leave me lonely. Do you remember what you told me? You'll always be with me. And I only went with him 'cause you was not around. And I only went with him, but I wish I didn't now. 'Cause your love from me always stays. When karma comes around, I will always love you, baby. But that's how I get down. Do you remember when you told me you'd never leave me lonely? Do you remember when you told me you'll always be with me? Do you remember when you told me you'd never leave me lonely? Do you remember when you told me you'll always be with me?
Our life these days are looking kinda grim, so I took my head back and I put on my full screen. I don't put my hands together, I don't talk to him. The only time I talk to him is if I've sinned. Forgive me, Lord, for what I've done wrong. Forgive me for mentioning your name on this song, but I had to find a way out of this hellhole though. The only way to do that is a bed though.
Do you remember when you told me you never leave me lonely? Do you remember when you told me you'll always be with me? Do you remember when you told me you'll never leave me lonely? Do you remember when you told me you'll always be with me?
I told you once, I told you twice. Brother don't need no yeah, brother don't need no why. Time after time when you say you love me, but on my mind I got another wife to be. I don't care what you say no more. I'm walking out and I'm closing the door. Girl, you're on your own. Keep the rings, watch, keep the phone.
Do you remember when you told me you'll never leave me lonely? Do you remember when you told me you will always be with me? Do you remember when you told me you'll never leave me lonely? Do you remember when you told me you'll always be with me? And I told you once, and I told you twice, you're not the one for me, and you know I'm right. Tell me you love me, then you change your mind. You better hurry up and leave that door now. You can't wait outside. Do you remember when you told me you'll never leave me lonely? Do you remember when you told me you will always be with me? Do you remember when you told me you'll never leave me lonely? Do you remember when you told me you will always be with me?
I do remember when I told you I'd never leave. Worked my arse off all day for that 5G. Make sure you were cool when I went out at night. But one day you sat there and fucking cried, 'cause that dickhead tried it and you thought I lied. So you went with him and had a little ride. Never thought about me when I was on my bike, working on streets all day and all fucking
night. Do you
night.
remember when you told me you'll never leave me lonely? Do you remember when you told me you will always be with me? Do you remember when you told me you'll never leave me lonely? Do you remember when you told me you will always be with me?
I told you once, I told you twice. I don't need no wife, just a link. I told you once, I told you twice.